What we do here is go back.
Okay, and I think we're live, possibly. I can't tell because the preview screen is so far behind once again. Yeah, that looks okay. Can you see me and or hear me? Please, if you could let me know in the chat, that would be fantastic. All good? Yay, looks like it's working. Fun dabby dozy. So, good evening. It's Mike here, Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To. Caps over there. It is Saturday the 14th of February 2026, and happy Valentine's out there to all you PC lovers. Hopefully you've bought your PC something nice for a treat today. No, you haven't? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there's not really much you can buy these days, is there? Especially RAM. We won't talk about RAM too much. Well, we will do, because we're going to talk about building a PC for GTA 6. Should we do it now? Should we wait? Should we do it later? Are things going to get worse? Is it a good idea to invest your money now? Before the RAM apocalypse comes the GPU apocalypse, and then the stuff apocalypse. It may get worse. Who knows? O'Reilly says, I turn my PC on. That's the love I give it. Hey, it gets power. That'll do it.
No, you turn it on.
Anyway. Charles says, we can see you and hear you, Tommy. Thank you. Excellent stuff. So everything seems to be working. That's great. Let's see if the overhead's working actually. Should be. Fantastic. Stream desktop, we probably know that's working. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Great stuff. So, yeah, Valentine's Day is here again. And when it comes to Valentine's Day, it always comes to that part where I remember that it is my wedding anniversary coming up very soon. And Kath's as well, funnily enough. We share the same anniversary. Who'd have thought it? So on the 19th of February, we will have officially been married for... Guess how many years? I'll let you guess in the chat. It's all good for the stats. Vida is fake, says a letter. Come on, have a guess. How many years do you think myself and Mrs. Mike's Unboxing have been married for this year when it comes? O'Reilly says 35 years. Wow. I'm not that old. And neither's Kath. How dare you? 200, says a letter. Not quite. Not quite. Some of you are getting pretty close. Senrab says Kath was a child bride. Well, Kath's actually older than me. So I would have been the child bride.
You're still going to be in the groom, babe.
Oh yeah, I'll still be the groom, not a bride, sorry. Yeah, I always get those things. I always get the gender thing mixed up. I understand now how it's so difficult for Gen Z to do it. Shouldn't say that. Tongue in cheek, firmly. Andy retracted that one quickly. Kev says 30 years. Charles says your kids are in their 20s, so 18 years? No. Andy says it's got to be the golden anniversary. I will give you a clue. It will be the pearl anniversary. So that should give you some idea. I've got to say, I had some Chinese food earlier. Some rice. And oh, very, very dry. Yep, you're getting it now. 30 years. Alessa says I've been with my partner for a little over 35 years of hell. Fantastic. Our 30 years have been relatively smooth sailing, I would say. All relationships have their ups and downs, but yeah, we've had, well, clearly we're still together, so it couldn't have been that bad. She hasn't dispatched me quite yet. No doubt I've come close a few times. But we're all human beings. We are all prone to making mistakes and just being twats sometimes. It happens. ClickTech Kev says, I got it right. I thought I was taking the piss, lol. No, it will be, we'll be officially married for 30 years as of the 19th of February. So next Wednesday or Thursday, is that? Thursday. Wow, 30 years. And we were actually going out and living with each other for 5 years prior to that. So, yeah. We bought our house when, in 92? 93. Yeah, we bought our first house in 1993. Yeah, we lived there for about 3 years until we got married. What, when we bought the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 19 years old when we bought our house. Married at 21. I was 22 the same year, but I was at that time 21. Did a lot of things when I was 21. Changed jobs multiple times. Got married. Passed my driving test.
Baby Sam,
Shaved all my hair off.
No, that was for my 21st birthday you did that.
Oh yeah, that was the year before I did that, yeah. We were literally just about to go out for a family meal, and I thought my hair could do a bit of a trim, need a fresh new trim.
And you never cut your hair.
And I don't really often do my hair back then. I had clippers, so I was just trying to do a bit of an undercut type thing going on, because I had quite longish hair. Like, you know, where you had the parting come down over the sides and you shaved it up underneath. Because I think at the time I was still riding my motorbike, possibly. So I had like typical crash helmet hair or helmet head. And yeah, I was trying to do the undercut and I didn't put the guard on, and it's like, oh, shit. So I just buzzed the lot off, and I come downstairs for everyone waiting to go out, and they're like, OMFG, what have you done? It's like, yeah, tell me about it. So yes, it was, yeah, 21 was a long time ago. Well, 30 years ago, to be exact. Kath only wants you for your pension, Mike, says Rick.
Yeah, really got one.
I don't think I got one.
No, right.
You are watching my pension. Thank you all very much for contributing.
It's only a pension if you add videos every 90 days.
Yeah, I found out something I didn't know. That if you're a YouTube creator, if you don't release a video within 90 days, basically YouTube can claim your account and all the earnings from the videos. It's pretty scary stuff, really. Anyway. I'm not too sure how to pronounce that. Queerter8813. Hi, I have a question. I have a B450 motherboard without an AIO pump header. Do you recommend switching to B550, or is there a way to get around it? Well, yes, if your motherboard has multiple fan headers, like system fan header 1, system fan header 2, etc., you can quite happily use those for an AIO. Those are absolutely fine. It doesn't really matter what they actually say on them. You can effectively use them for whatever you want, apart from the CPU fan header. That is the one which really does need a CPU fan attached to it, because that is the primary kind of cooling solution, and the motherboard will look at that header to see if your CPU is potentially being cooled or not. So if you don't have something attached there, or you have the wrong fan attached there, you can get very wrong readings in your system, or potentially it might not even boot at all. We have had instances, I think a few years back, where some motherboards just refused to boot if there was not a fan connected to the CPU fan header, which is, I guess it kind of makes sense, because it would prevent there being any kind of overheating issues.
He's moaning. Anti-kitten.
Well, there you go.
You going to come and say hello?
ClickTech Kev says they demonetized me for it. What's that, for not releasing a video? Yeah. They're buttheads, aren't they? YouTube is ass-ho. There's Candy. Candy's come to say hello.
And she's gone.
And she's gone. She is the stompy cat. So if you lie down or go to bed or anything, immediately she'll come up and it'll be like doing that pull-in thing that cats do. Oh, God.
Making biscuits.
Making biscuits, yeah. Very, very uncomfortable.
Or shredding my shoulder, as I like to call it.
Yeah, in the winter it's not too bad, because we tend to wear like a t-shirt or whatever to bed, so there's a little bit of protection. But in the summer, when you're stark bee naked, she comes along and starts stomping on you, and it's like, yeah, just, it's like being in a Freddy Krueger film.
happens when they demonetize you? Can you build that back up again then?
Right, yeah. Kev says, and dropping below the requirements for the first part of monetization. Oh yeah, view count and watch time, I suppose, yeah.
Because I used to get paid on ShopSmart, didn't I?
Yeah.
Originally.
It is rubbish. John David Sullivan says, my wife and I are married since 2012. So this September will be 14 years. Congratulations. Aletta says, it's been a couple of years since I made a video for YouTube. Yeah, I always assumed, rightly or wrongly, because you get to a certain point in your life where you do tend to look towards the future a little bit more, and kind of, especially if you've got children or like dependents, you think to yourself, like, what am I going to be able to leave them? And with things like YouTube channels, you just kind of assume that YouTube would just keep on paying the royalties on the videos, even after you stop creating content. But it would appear that that is not the case. If you fail to release a video within 90 days, potentially they can demonetize your channel, of which case they will obviously still be running ads on it, but they will be taking the proceeds from the advertisements rather than you as the content creator, which is a little bit naughty. You'd think that there will be somewhere actually in the YouTube studio or platform that if you decide for some reason, like, I don't want to do this anymore, that you could then disable advertisements or remove all of your content from YouTube potentially. But I guess there probably is a way of doing that, but you wouldn't really want to. You could just delete your channel, but then, yeah, if you're kind of, say you pass away and you want to leave all your videos up so your family and your children and grandchildren, whatever, got something to look at to remind you, you probably want to keep it running, and then you might as well generate some income, aren't you? Anyway, that's not really part and parcel of what tonight's stream is supposed to be about, but this is one of those things that I guess that people don't necessarily think about. You think like someone like Linus Tech Tips, massive channel, massive amounts of income, but if they don't release a video every 90 days, they basically can lose that.
He does one every 90 minutes though, doesn't he?
Yeah, they have one every 90 minutes, so it's all right. No, it's not MD Tech. Shouldn't say that. There we go. Sky says, Tina and I are 28 years in. Kids are older. We are sinners. You dirty bastards. Hi, David Thompson. How you doing? Hey, Semrab. Yeah, not going to hold back. I'm past filtering my comments. I try to, but there's no point. Hey, Remad. How you doing? Hi, Raleigh. John David Sullivan. Aletta. How you doing? Good to see you all in the chat. It's very nice of you.
You need to just set up a live stream of the cats. Just have it focused on the table and leave it running.
Yeah, just
when
yeah.
You die.
I'd imagine you could create some kind of code that you could get it to analyze your an old video and just re-release it and call it retro. In fact, there is a channel that I know of, Geekanoids, here in the UK, which, if I recall correctly, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure that Geekanoids is the longest running tech YouTube channel in the United Kingdom. A while back, I think he had some sort of brain injury or something, so he had an operation and he was off camera for a little while.
More or less than 90 days.
I'm not too sure. I don't think it was quite 90 days, but it was a while, because he normally releases a video like every single day, well, like Monday through to Friday. Yeah, and I noticed that the cadence had dropped somewhat, and recently I've noticed on that channel that there's a lot of re-releases. So it's like a Wayback Machine type thing. I can't remember what the exact terminology he's using, or whoever is doing it is using on the videos, but there's like retro or blast from the past type things. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see why that is. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's fine and we'll be back to normal content resuming shortly. Maybe he's just having a break. I don't know. Who knows? John David Sullivan, Mike's casket reviews and how to. There we go. I wonder how long that would last. Would that be seen as being... I'm sure that would break some terms of service or be some ethical thing. You couldn't do a review from beyond the grave. We should try that. If for some reason I should pass away in the future, we'll get a medium in to sit here and channel me through the medium. Ask me questions. So you can post your questions in the chat, relay them to the medium. The medium can get our crystal balls out or whatever and ask me the questions across the ether, and I will retort back from the other side. I may have information which may be valuable. I may be able to see into the future and tell you, buy GPUs now. Who knows? It's a crazy world we live in. It's possible.
Who's Remad?
Remad is, oh God, Remad. I always get this wrong. Dutch Jan?
Too. Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, Remad says it there. Remad is just Dutch Jan. Well done. Thanks for that. Good to see Rasher in the chat as well. I think I saw Rasher. There we go. Happy days.
Rasher's done the same with us. Married 1 year longer. Bought the house in '94.
We are very kindred spirits, me and Rasher.
Bought the fridges around the same time.
Both crazy bastards.
Both bought LG fridges.
We both bought LG fridges around the same time. Ours failed. Well, it didn't technically fail. It rusted.
Mike thought it'd be good to have a new one.
Yeah.
But it wasn't.
Thanks for that, JDS. That's a vision I don't want. Oh dear. Sorry, just reading through the chat here, see if there's anything else. Oh, Greg says, can we ask you for the lottery ticket? I will do what I can. I will channel it from the other side. I see somebody wasting money on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday and Saturday. Oh, wouldn't it be nice to win the lottery? That'd be awesome. What would you do? Genuine question to those of you watching, because I'm just going completely off tangent, so I might as well just run with it. If you won the lottery, say you won the Euro lottery, which here in the UK and the Eurozone, when it comes up to kind of the higher jackpot numbers, you're looking around about, let's say for instance, like 80 million, either euros or pounds. If you had that sort of money, what would be one of the first things that you would do? What would be your kind of your core ambition? Now, I know there's loads of things. There's the obvious things like buy a house, buy a car, get married, send Mike a super chat, all those types of things. Obviously, if you win that sort of money, you're better off sending it via PayPal, because YouTube will take their 30% off the top. So, or via Patreon, that's fine as well.
Matthew David by DDR5.
DDR5, yeah, that has got to be on the top of the chart, isn't it? I would, if I won £80 million, I would definitely buy 128 gigs of DDR5, probably Crucial Dominator Platinum.
We always said we'd buy those pound donuts in Tesco to take to work with us.
Yeah, buy some 5 donuts for £1 bags and take them to work to share. That's just generosity there. Serab say, buy a house for my wife and an RV for me.
I'd like an RV.
I'd like an RV. Andy says 30k a month would do me. Yeah, I think 30k a month would do anybody. I think realistically, that's a lot of money.
That'd do me a year.
Yeah, that's a year for me. Oh. Aletta says, I'd bulldoze my old house and build a better one in its place. I think a lot of people would like to do that, wouldn't they? Because a lot of people...
You haven't got the space.
Yeah, you wouldn't get the bulldozer in here. It's too small. A lot of people, though, would think, like, if you had all the money that you could wish for, you wouldn't necessarily want to move from your house because you're probably quite happy where you live. Well, I hope you are. So, yeah, you'd do some serious renovations, and realistically, by the time you thought about all the renovations you'd like to do, you're probably better off just demolishing it and starting again. It would probably be cheaper than the actual renovations.
Des says they'd have the heating on 24 hours a day.
Yeah, put the heating on all day long and the air conditioning on all day long in the summer, and have every room perfectly set to around about 22 to 23 degrees Celsius all through the year. Sky says hide and build a bunker. yeah. Waiting for all the family members to come out of the closet. Oh, hi Mike, I haven't seen you since 1981. I really, really like you, and I think you're a really great smashing guy. And I think Kath's awesome too. By the way, we've got a large bill come in. Any chance you could help? I think we know the answer to that question.
I haven't met most of your family. So.
Yeah. Mark Berry says, I would be quitting work that day. Yeah. John says his flat is falling apart, so I would definitely do that. Excellent. I would short the Nasdaq. Who said that? Rob says I would short the Nasdaq index. Yes.
We used to play Celebdac.
Yeah, they did.
Back in the day.
Zero Defect says 5090. Yeah, 5090 would probably be on the cards. Andy says buy Windows keys. Yeah. Don't forget to use the discount code Mike's Unboxing when you buy them. You might as well share the wealth, haven't you? Charles Ballard, if I won the lottery, I would quit my fucking job, give my co-workers enough to quit, and I would pack up the stuff in my condo I want to keep, dump the rest, clean it, sell it, and move to Vegas. Yes! If you go to Vegas, say hello to Mike from Ultimate Tech Hub. He's a great guy. He's got a lovely pool. O'Reilly says invest it. Keep it secure. Maybe give some to good causes. Thanks, O'Reilly. Always thinking of us. Always. David Under says 30k is nothing. My pension is that much. Hey, to me, 30k is a lot of money. That's my yearly wage. More than my yearly wage, actually.
I could probably live on that for 4 years.
I think actually, technically, I'm on way less than the national minimum wage for my age. But then I am really old, so.
I don't think it classes as your age after 25, does it?
That's why I look like a mess and the wallpaper's falling off the walls.
Where is it falling off?
Well, over there. There it is, but that's only because I ripped it. Well, the cat's ripped it.
That's only where the roof leaked. You haven't stuck it back on yet, or painted it, or whatever.
Cool Cat says, I checked to see how much my RAM is to buy now. My system cost me £500, including 32 gigs. That was 4 times 8 gigs of DDR4, 3600 megahertz. The memory is now worth £418 alone. I know, it's insane. Absolute ludicrous. Mental prices. Absolutely mental prices. Viali says, I want to move to a bigger detached house with a basement for a cinema room. Good shout. I think a cinema room would be definitely on the cards. I would like that. The thing is, though, I think if I had what's the most comfortable way to watch a movie? Realistically, it's led down.
With your eyes shut.
Yeah, with your eyes shut. And some popcorn by the side of you.
Oh, I could stay awake if I've got popcorn.
That's what. So if I built a cinema room, it would effectively just be another bedroom. A nice big bed, maybe some cat trees around,
cat walls.
and a big ass TV on the wall. I'm living it. Rasher says, a work friend was asked, would you leave work if you won the lottery? He says, no, but I would be very cheeky. Alessa says, if I was still working, I'd buy the company and fire my boss. I think that's, yeah, a lot of people would like to do that, wouldn't they? That's great. Task99 says, as long as I've got food and a roof over my head, I'm happy. That's like me. Good for you. Kath's exactly the same. She's, both of us really, to be honest with you, we do lead extremely humble lives. Extremely. I'm not just saying that, we generally do. We are very frugal. We don't go on kind of any holidays or exotic holidays or anything like that. We don't spend a lot of money on anything. We just...
That's probably our biggest.
We live within our means, very much so. Mark Barry says, you could have a lot of fun at work knowing you had won that much money. Yeah. I think if I was still working at the BBC and I knew that I'd won that much money, there's 100% chance that I would run onto the set whilst they're filming a very expensive stunt scene and completely fuck it up. That would be amazing. And especially if no one else knew about it, but I knew I'd got all that money to fall back on, I would push the boundaries of my employment to extreme levels. You did, to be fair. I did anyway while I was there, and I really didn't care. But I would take those boundaries, I would destroy those boundaries, I'd move them way out into the distance, and I would still aim for them and beyond. Because that's just
you were in quite a privileged position.
That's just the way I was.
And you did used to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know how much further you could have really pushed it. to be honest.
Cool Cat says, yeah, that was George Best. I think, is it George Best? I think it was George Best. I spent most of my money on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The rest I just wasted. I'm pretty sure that was George Best. David Underhill says, that's a very, very apt thing, actually. Money does not buy happiness, but it makes the misery easier to cope with. That is an extremely true statement. David says, I need to win the lottery to buy a new MSI 5090 GPU. It's 8,799 Aussie dollars. That's mental for a graphics card. Alexa says, I punched out one of my bosses and got 3 days at the Grey Bar Hotel. It was worth it. For those of you who don't know, the Grey Bar Hotel is jail, prison. Cool Cat says it was George Best. Cool. Unlimited money would definitely make me happy. Yeah, I think it would be great, wouldn't it? If you had unlimited funds, you could use it for good or for bad. You could basically just be completely altruistic, I think that's the right word, and just stand in your local street, and if you see someone, just give them some money and just keep on doing that. Just hand out money to people that are walking past you, and if someone looks particularly hard up or down on their luck or just looks miserable or whatever, upset, pissed off, just down, just give them a bit of a perk. Give them
Let's do like the ordinary dude.
What's that?
Buy the farm, like he rents.
Yeah.
Buy his farm, but
Buy a farm. I wouldn't.
retire with lots of animals.
I would like. I've said this for so long now, and it might happen one day, but I doubt it.
Manifest.
I'm going to manifest it now. I want to buy a restaurant in our local village. Kath don't want to manifest that.
That'd be awful.
There's a Italian restaurant in our local area, and I don't know why, but I've always wanted to buy it. I don't know why. I don't want to do anything with it. I just want to buy it and have it and say that is my restaurant. And wouldn't that be great? Then we could have a Mike's Unboxing meetup and just get everyone, and we'll just go to the restaurant. We'll all go there, have some good food, have a couple of drinks, have a laugh, and yeah, it'd just be so cool to be able to do that.
Manifest that. Oh, wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Matthew Day says, make it a cat cafe. Yeah, that'll turn around. She'll have that now.
I don't want that. It's not fair. They don't like people.
Greg says that a restaurant is a money pit.
Yeah.
Well, that one there.
Hard work.
How long's it held be there now? It's been.
Since the kids were little, and you were still working.
They've been there now a good
You were still
20 plus years.
You were still working at M Squared.
Was I? So yeah, 2000. Yeah, so about 25, 30 years they've been there.
When I first started going there.
Sky says you can still do that without owning the joint. I know, but it's not the same, is it? I suppose it is. Just it'll cost you more. It'll cost you double because you'd have to pay for the food and stuff. Whereas if you owned it, it'd be like, oh,
But
you'd have it at cost.
wages,
Yeah, I know.
and you wouldn't earn any money if you were running it yourself.
Charles Ballard, know how to become a millionaire in the restaurant business? Start out as a billionaire.
Yeah. I don't think you realise the amount of work and the.
I don't at all, but I just love the idea of it. Or a pub. I would love to own a pub. But I wouldn't want to own it or even be in there half the time, to be honest with you. But I don't know, it's one of these things I wanted. Jamie says, hi. How you doing, Jamie? We've gone completely off track because we've talked nonsense for the last half an hour. But hopefully it's been amusing nonsense and it's made you just forget all the crap that's going on in the world, because there is a lot of it. And especially if you're in the UK, because basically it's been wet, raining or cold for the last forever. It's a thing. The United Kingdom basically needs a massive umbrella. Don't say that out loud because Bill Gates or one of those other lunatics will make it. You know, it'll happen. And there'll just be this big mechanical dome over the top of us. No, actually, some other countries done that, haven't they? Anyway, moving on. So, it'll soon be spring. And then, hopefully, it'll be in double-digit centigrade figures. So...
And then it'd be called.
Then
heat wave.
yeah, then it'll be called a heat wave. Technically, it kind of is. Greg says it's a balmy -5C here and warming up. Woo! That's pretty chilly. Tonight is going to be a little bit colder here in the UK, especially here down in the south or southwest. It's going to be 0 degrees this evening, which is fantastic. We had highs of 5 today, +5, and it's going to be 0 degrees. And they say there's supposed to be snow.
No, it's gone again.
Oh, no, they keep on saying there's supposed to be snow.
No, it's
We've been
Wednesday.
promised snow.
For about 6 weeks.
No, it was more than that, since November. They were saying that there was going to be like this 17-mile band of bloody snow coming over. Then they changed it. It says it's a 35-mile wide band of snow. Then it was like a 250-mile wide band of snow. And it's like all these months later and still no flipping snow.
But it's been so warm this winter, I can't even see it.
It has been a very mild autumn. We are technically entering into winter now up until March, when we have the spring equinox. So we are currently in winter and we've not really hit the middle of winter yet. So yeah, we have been known to have snow in February and March. March generally tends to be cold for some reason. March is awful, but then April is like milder and it's great because you think, yes, it's nearly May and things will be definitely brighter.
T-shirt weather when I used to go out cutting the wood.
It has been, but you also get those sharp spells like the Beast from the East and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Once in
Crazy
a lifetime
stuff.
kind of stuff.
Anyway, Rasha says snow is beautiful on a postcard. Yeah, isn't it nice when you watch like a typical American Christmas themed movie and you see all the lovely trees and the lights and the festivities and people huddled round kind of braziers or whatever they call them, and there's like nice thick snow and people are building snowmen and having snowball fights and out on their sledges and all that kind of stuff. The reality is, if we get snow in the UK, the entire place just grinds to an absolute halt because we've got no idea what to do with snow.
It's not just here, is it? It's like Angel got stuck in Amsterdam.
Yeah, that's the same as well. But we don't get the snow that you lot get. In the UK, our snow is this horrible, cold, wet, slushy shit. If you've ever had a slush puppy, TM, or a kind of crushed ice drink, imagine that just falling from the sky. That is a sense. Yeah, without the colour and the taste. If you see yellow snow, don't drink it. It's not lemon flavour or pineapple. It's just
Dog piss.
yes, dog piss. So don't drink that. But generally, our snow turns to slush within about an hour of falling, and you just get that or frozen slush for a couple of days. It's just horrific.
And it usually freezes the first night. And
Yeah, it normally freezes almost straight away or melts because they put all the salt down and like yeah, it just turns to water straight away. It's rubbish.
they don't put salt down
Well, they used
anywhere
to.
useful, only on the main roads.
Yeah. Des says it just started snowing in Wolverhampton. Right, mate. Good snow in Wolverhampton.
Hi.
Kipper tie. That if you say kipper tie, that means cup of tea in Wolverhampton. And
Birmingham.
well, Birmingham technically, but Wolverhampton we'll say. Oh dear. It's one of those days again. Hey, tough enough. How you doing? Letter says we're about to have a bit of a heat wave. I can't wait until I can open the windows. Dog farts are getting too thick. Oh dear. That's some funny shit. Oh dear. Firestorm says we never get snow in Hereford. You do? Hereford gets... Actually, tell a lie. Yeah, because Hereford is kind of across from us. So we are in that kind of valley almost. So the snow kind of goes either side of us. So Bristol doesn't really get much snow at all. But other side of it, so more south, kind of Weston-super-Mare, down to Exmouth, Exeter, Devon, they get a little bit more. And north of us, you've got like Cardiff, South Wales, then into the valleys. And that is where the snow generally tends to accumulate. But Bristol kind of just... Bristol's a weird place. It's relatively flat. So it kind of... There's no real like cliffs or mountains or any kind of hilly terrain as such where the weather can kind of settle into. It just kind of blows across. I know obviously Bristol is not flat. Like the earth isn't flat because there's bits and stuff. But it's relatively flat if you look at a kind of hundreds of miles wide kind of thing. Anyway, moving on. Us Georges are still walking around in shorts and t-shirts. We do see that every now and then. I don't know. We went shopping to Asda. This is years ago. I think it might even been. It was way before COVID.
It's about 2006.
It was about I was at the BBC because I had that spy pen. That's what I recorded it on.
2007.
So it had been 2007, maybe 2008, and I had this little I had this little USB pen, and it had a built-in very low resolution camera, like a spy pen, and you could press the thing on the top. And I just took it out with me because it's like
You had it for Christmas.
It was a Christmas present, just messing around with it. And we went. It was Christmas that I got it for. And about a month later, we were in Asda, and
I think it's like Boxing Day, babe.
It was snowing and icing, and it was freezing. Everyone in the shop was like coats, scarves, all that kind of stuff. And there was this lunatic who come in like flip-flops, t-shirt and shorts. Real fat dude. And it's just like, I'm not saying that just because he was like fat. I'm just saying it because like, I don't know. It just looked a proper like out of place thing. It's like he looked like he should be on a beach in Miami or something, but he wasn't. He was in Cribs Causeway, Bristol, and we were all freezing cold, soaking wet, and he was just there in his basically in his pants.
You had evidence.
And I recorded it because I was like, I cannot believe this person is actually out in this. Because I think it was really windy as well. So not only was it cold and wet and rainy and that, it was really windy as well. And he's there just in shorts and a t-shirt and flip-flops. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you, man? Anyway, moving on. Hey, Stephen, and hello to... Oh, I said hello just now. Stephen, Ashley Strachan. Ashley, how you doing, Ashley? Very strange. Alexa says we got a little over a foot of snow a few weeks ago. It's just now starting to melt. I'll have to deal with 2 inches of mud. See, yeah, if we get snow, it's gone in a couple of days. There was a real bad storm. I think it was in 83, and I think there was one again a bit further back in like 75 or 74, where we had like England was basically completely covered in snow, and it's a good couple of feet deep in a lot of places. But generally, sometimes we don't get snow at all the whole year, especially where we are.
Kids were. So what year was that? Let's work it out now. It was about.
Where are you going with this?
When we built the igloo, and that.
Oh right, and that was the first time they saw snow, wasn't it?
To school because it's the first time they'd actually really seen snow.
Yeah, they were like 5 and 7, I suppose, weren't they, or around that?
I think it was 2009, 2010.
All right, so maybe 7 and 9.
Yeah, they were quite old.
Yeah.
Before they saw real snow. But it's like, no, I'm not sending them to school when they could be at home playing in the snow with me.
Rasher says 2010 and also UK and Ireland got a blizzard. We had the Beast from the East, didn't we, back in 2017? 2016, 2017? The Beast from the East. That was probably the biggest snow that we've had of recent times. Sky says, we haven't had any snow this year. Who said Canada was cold? Yeah, that's funny because I watch another channel of a guy who is in Toronto, and they've had loads of snow, and he's just moved to Kings something, which is down south from Toronto. I think heading closer towards BC. Kings... No, I can't think what it's called. Kings something. It's Casey from Camera Conspiracies and Visual Police. And yeah, they got loads of snow. Not... is it Kingston? I don't think it's Kingston. It's like Kings something. Like Kings Western or Kings... I don't know.
That's here, isn't it?
Might be Kingston. Not sure. I'll have to have a look. Canada is massive though. Yeah, that is the thing. I think if you're someone who's lived in the UK all your life, you don't really understand the concept of how big places like Canada, Australia, and to some extent America actually is. The vastness of it. Here, it's hard to go more than maybe, I don't know, 5 miles, 10 miles without there being another significant site or building or town.
Sky Stalker says not close to BC, 4,000 kilometres away. I asked him about something. It
That's
was
close.
close to you, and I think that was 400,000 kilometres away as well. I have no idea.
Greg says, Toronto, the centre of the universe here in Canada. Temperature here in January was minus 45 C at times. That is insane. Wow. Beast from the East, says Rasher, that was it. Yeah, Beast from the East. Was that 2010, was it?
No.
I thought it was a bit later than
That was
that.
2017.
Yeah.
We had to go to Casualty, didn't we? Get all the snow off because they were filming June.
Viali says, I told the Met Office to grow up when they called it the Beast from the East. Yeah, it's true.
It's such a typical government.
When did they start naming storms by Christian names or persons' names? When did that start? I'd be really interested to know when that started, because we never used to get it here in the UK.
They did it.
Like, it was just like, there's a storm coming.
When did we have that fence put in the garden? 2014?
Might be.
They
Yeah.
were saying then, because I was trying to book them in for do the top of our garden, wasn't I?
Hmm.
And they're saying, but we've got storm such and such.
Storm
coming.
Edgar or Storm Herbert or whatever. Yeah.
So I don't care what's coming. When can you fit me in? And they never turned up anyway, did they?
Ashley says, I was walking around with Mel whilst the Beast from the East came. Anyway, right, I've deliberated long enough. Let's
was like hula hooping.
Kath was hula hooping in the Beast from the East, yeah. I was cooling beer. I had some beer that I stole, borrowed, inherited from my workplace because it was going out of date. And yeah, I thought, how better to cool your stolen alcohol than just basically drop it out the window, out the back, and into the snow. It was great.
If Rasher looks at when that hula hoop video was, it was that.
Yeah, if you look at the hula hoop video, that is the year. In fact, actually, we can find it. I will find the hula hoop video and show you.
Oh no!
See, Kath's been going on about it, so that means she wants me to show you.
It doesn't.
Mike's unboxing.
CB's off.
Cheers, CB.
CM.
CMCB. Catch you later. Hula hoop.
They only really name hurricanes. They name the far hair.
There we go. Right.
Don't they?
That's muted. Oh, shit. What have we done? Oh, no, I'm breaking things.
What's it, Candy?
Let's minimise that again. So I will show you now Kath hula hooping.
Oh.
I don't know if this is going to work.
What date was
Yeah,
on
there
it?
we go. And stream desktop. There we go. There is young Kath hula hooping.
And my hair's gone funny around my ear.
Look at her go.
I'm not very good then. Just put it.
One of those fence panels is broken now. There we go.
What year was it though? That's what we.
I don't know, because I got it full screen. I'm going to have to make it smaller. If I could find my mouse. Is it? If only I'd done a video somewhere showing you how to make your mouse more visible on the screen. That would be very handy.
In the snow in a t-shirt.
That was, yeah, in the snow in a t-shirt with her flip-flops
I
on.
didn't have flip flops. I had my snow boots.
That was 7 years ago. There we go. Callum Young come in with a £5 super chat. Thank you, Callum Young. Much appreciated. Alexa says Kath is a hottie. Yeah, she was 7 years ago. I'm joking. She's lovely. Charles says she swung her hips seductively and Mike hasn't been the same in a snowstorm since. You're absolutely right.
We haven't had one since.
No, we haven't had one since, no. Thank you very much, Callum, for the super chat. Much appreciated. So yeah, that was Kath hula hoop in the snow. Hula hoop in the snow with flip-flops sounds very Canadian. Yeah, it probably is. Right, I need to get some other windows open, so talk amongst yourselves a minute, because I'm going to get PC Part Picker up and running. The UK version. I suppose I am logged in. Yes, I am logged in. Excellent stuff.
2015. Storm Abigail. I'm sure it was
Abigail.
Storm Imogen or something.
Storm.
That came when we had our fences.
Can't quite reach drink. Oh.
Then we we did have a lot of 26. Why am I like your mother pushing towards you?
There we go. Lovely. How you doing, Scott? Good to see you. Right, what bloody camera am I on? Oh, that one. Okay. Perfect. Right, let's discuss GTA 6. Now, I know this is somewhat of a kind of what they would call in the trade a pipe dream because, well, firstly, buying PC parts. Yeah. GTA 6 actually being released somewhat on schedule. And thirdly, the third biggest problem is the big, you know, that company flipping us the bird and not releasing it out onto PC at the same time as it goes out onto PS4 and Xbox 99 or whatever it's going to be back then. Yes, so this is somewhat of a strange one. Now, I'll tell you, this is actually grounded in some form of reality. Yes, I know it's grounded within my reality, so that doesn't really count, but it's in reality nonetheless. So recently I had a conversation with somebody who wanted to buy a computer. This is just before Christmas, so it is a little while back, but this was always on my mind going through it. And that was even further back, so it just goes to show. Excuse me. So, Old Man Wither says, don't do it, Mike. The prices will make your sphincter spasm. Fantastic. I don't mind that. I can go with a sphincter spasm, as long as I ain't got to pay for it. Moving on. So before Christmas, somebody wanted a PC. They were buying this for a sibling, child or whatever. And the kind of brief was they wanted to play GTA 6. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether it was a kind of a grammatical error and it was actually to play GTA 5. But regardless, I kind of spec'd up the PC with the view of being able to play GTA 6 when it arrives. Now, if you look at the recommended system specs for GTA 6, it's somewhat of a mixed bag. And essentially, the minimum spec requirements will pretty much allow it to run on a potato. As with most games, most of them have got extremely low minimum specifications due to the fact that obviously most game manufacturers, producers, distributors, etc., they want to get as much income from the games as they possibly can. So if you tighten or narrow the ability of the potential customer base to purchase it because the PC spec is way out of their dreams or way out of their current system, or they just can't afford to buy it, they're not going to buy the game. So games essentially live or die on the amount of hype, the amount of interest, and the amount of people playing them. That's why GTA is on GTA 6, because if it wasn't able to be played on lower end systems, it would just have been GTA and that would have been it. A lot of games come out like that. They come out, they've got ridiculously high specs or requirements. Thanks for that. I have no camera signal. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. The camera has been moved.
I've moved the leg on it now as well.
Candy, stop it. You're being a pain in my spasming sphincter. Alright, hang on. Hold the line caller. I have got to go to HDMI 2, deactivate, and activate. Oh, fuck. And activate. Oh, shit.
Candy! He's bad, Baba.
HDMI 2.
Come on.
Why have I got no signal? Oh, for God's
Do I need
sake.
to unplug and unplug them back in the camera?
Have you tried turning it off and turn it back on again? Let me try and turn it back off and back on again. Candy, you butthead. Is it all the way in the hole?
I think they are. I have to push them in.
Right, unplug his VU and replug. Ooh, got a spark there. There we go.
Look at the camera now. Look at this.
Is it completely pissed? Oh,
Yeah.
God, sorry.
Push the leg up. That's all it needs.
Which one?
I don't know.
that's helpful.
Make sure your head's going to be in it.
They didn't want to see me anyway. There we go.
Right.
Right. I think it's working now. Hello. Let's close that down. Oh dear. Okay. Right. So, where was I? It works now. Candy, bad kitty. I don't know what I even said. What did I say?
Cats are assholes.
Cats are asshole. Yes, so basically the minimum specs and the recommended specs for GTA 6 are actually pretty reasonable, to be honest with you. CPU wise, it does look like it's going to be slightly more CPU heavy, probably because it's such a massive map, such a massive world, lots of things going on, lots of geometry to calculate, etc. And obviously, if you want to play GTA 6, which is going to be a kind of a next gen game, effectively, you're going to want to play it and have it look amazing, because that's the whole point of it. It's that immersion, the lifelike reality that you can immerse yourself into. And to do that, you're going to probably want to have some form of possible ray tracing, or be able to play at 1440p or 4K, maybe with a little smidgen of FSR4 possibly, and a bit of DLSS. So there's lots of things which can potentially go towards making the game feel much better. Now, I would say personally, now I'm not someone who plays a lot of GTA, I'll be honest with you, but I know a lot of you do. So I will take your comments and things on board very much, because I'm looking for that kind of input. But I'm pretty confident that to play GTA, it's more about a graphical fidelity thing than it actually is like high frame rates. So for a lot of people, playing the game at like 60, 70 FPS at 4K is going to be preferable to playing at maybe 1080p 165, because it isn't that kind of twitchy game, at least from what I know of it. So before I go any further, if you lot can comment and let me know in the chat if I'm making sense or whether I'm talking out my ass. If I'm talking out my ass, let me know, and I will quite happily go about it in a different way. But I'm pretty sure most people will probably target somewhere between 60 and 100 FPS to have a pleasant experience. Just waiting for some chat. Task says GTA is fine at 60. Yeah. I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put it out there that on some consoles, when it gets released, I'm imagining some consoles may actually be capped at 30 FPS. Especially some of the lower end ones. If they can squeeze it out of the hardware, they may release versions at 30 FPS. Dave Bunner says 300 FPS plus or go home. Oh yes. Sky says it can be a bit twitchy, not as bad as many FPS games. Yeah, it's not like a competitive shooter as such. Obviously there is a competitive element to it, but it's not like Counter-Strike, Fortnite, your typical kind of esports game. It's more of a kind of immerse yourself into the environment. I would liken it very much to Cyberpunk in terms of gameplay and the actual kind of the immersion. It's all about the environment you're in, the lighting, the characters that you're interacting with. It's more like playing a movie than it is competing in a game, I think personally. And I think the script editors and script writers for like Cyberpunk and GTA, they think of it more of as like an interactive movie than they do a game, like a competitive game, I think. Firestorm says 60 FPS is okay for GTA, but more is better. Okay. Aletta says I do a lot of motorcycle stunts. The higher the frame rate, the better. Okay, fair enough. TAS 99. Okay. AM4 will be overkill for it, for what I have read, says Viali. Okay. Well, let's have a look actually online, and we'll see what Rockstar Where are we? GTA. Best specs for GTA 6 PC. Let's see if we've got anything here from the people themselves. I'm trying to find it. GTA. Oh, come on. I need to find a link. Let's see, come on. Why can I not find anything? Rockstar Games. Oh, that's Grand Theft. Oh yeah, there we go. Right. I have to accept cookies. Gosh darn it.
But you go through and change it. No, no, no.
No. So it's coming November the 19th, 2026. Actually, let's show you the screen so you can see what I'm seeing. So Grand Theft Auto 6 coming November 19th, 2026. Maybe it's going to come sooner, who knows. It does say there actually, which is interesting. PS5, Xbox Series X, Series S. So no mention of PC initially, which is a little bit worrying. It tells you what it's about, and as you can see, it is very, very kind of, well, cinematic, I would say, arguably. Rather than being like Counter-Strike or Fortnite, it's very much about the atmosphere, the lighting, the surroundings. Look at the background blur there. Bit of bokeh going on. So yeah, you can kind of see what it's about, where it's going to be, etc, etc. And let's see if in here...
That's quite realistic now.
Yeah, for me.
No, because it's an
places,
advert.
trailers... it doesn't say, does it? Booby Ike. But yeah, it looks pretty cool. I've got to be honest with you. And that is where the game is set, which looks very, very familiar. If anybody lives around that sort of area or has watched Miami Vice, you will recognize that bridge and that strip very much. So anyway, you get the general idea of what it's about, how it's going to look, the settings, the lighting. Like, look at the glass rivers. I guess you can kind of understand where that is going to be. Yeah, you can see what this is based on, and it does look phenomenal. It really does. Anyway, so with that said, let's have a look and see what the PC recommended specs are.
God, I wish. Looks like your backyard mic. Oh, that'd be lush.
GTA 6 recommended specs. So officially, at the moment, there aren't actually official recognised official specs. But some computer companies here in the UK and elsewhere have actually started to kind of release their own. So maybe they've got an inside track on it. Who knows? Let's have a closer look and see what they're saying. So this is from Chill Blast, which I'm sure quite a few of you have heard of before. So chillblast.com. And they've got a page already dedicated to game ready PCs, and they've got a section for GTA 6. So this is their system requirements, which they are saying at the moment. So you've got the minimum requirements here. So we're looking at Intel Core i5 4460, 3.2 gigahertz, or an AMD FX 8350. So clearly, like, it's going to run on pretty much anything. And in terms of graphics, a Radeon R9 390 or a GeForce GTX 974 gigs. So it's strange that they're suggesting any of that, because that setup wouldn't run on Windows 11 at all. Well, it could be got to work on it, but it shouldn't do. And also, these graphics cards are completely out of service, so there's not going to be any drivers specifically updated for this game, but it appears it would run, at least going by Chill Blast recommendations. Okay, so recommended requirements, that is going to be more realistic. So here we're saying an Intel Core i7 8700K. Again, a CPU which has long been forgotten about, but was I believe, an 8-core. Was it an 8-core? 8-core 16 thread, or is it 6-core 12 thread? I think it's 6 cores 12 threads. And an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070. Now the 2070 is actually still a reasonably powerful card. Now they're also saying recommended requirements here.
GTA5.
I think that it probably is, to be honest with you. But it does say here GTA6. So go and blast, chill blast. Don't blast me. I'm just a messenger. Yeah, they're saying Windows 10. So yeah, I think this is probably a bad example, but it's the sort of information which is out there. So I think what I'm going to do is let's go back a little bit here and we will see if there's anyone else.
Is there anyone there?
Okay, so here is something from 300mind.studio, whoever they are. And this is regarding GTA's race to be the best game in history. And I'm just going to see if there is... Okay, now this is probably the PC requirements of GTA 6. Just want to say that. Probably. This isn't definitive because obviously they haven't released the game yet. So you don't know. But this is a guesstimate, essentially. So, as you can see, here are the minimum and recommended PC requirements you need for GTA 6, probably. Highlight probably, because probably is very important in this. So, CPU again, Intel Core i7-8700K or an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. So again, it's still a reasonably powerful processor. Ryzen 7 3700X is quite a good processor. Operating system, Windows 10 or Windows 11, that makes sense. Memory, 8 gigs of RAM, I feel that is just misleading. I don't think you could even load Windows 11 really with 8 gigs of RAM and then the game as well. So I would disagree with that a lot. GPU wise, they're saying a GTX 1080 Ti or a AMD Radeon 5700 XT. This is minimum system requirements, mind. So 1080 Ti, although that is, what, 7-8 years old now, if not more, 10 years old, the 1080 Ti is still a pretty powerful performer, and you can run a 1080 Ti against actually some of the modern graphics cards, and there's not a huge difference between some of the entry-level cards these days. Now that, obviously, the 1080 Ti was a flagship card at the time, but it just goes to show how well that's aged. When it comes to the 5700 XT, again, still a pretty decent card. So, yeah, certainly not entry-level, that's for sure. So that's minimum. So if we take a look at the recommended system requirements, again, this is all speculative, so don't read too much into it. But you're already seeing here, Intel Core i9 10900K, arguably a very powerful processor, and a Ryzen 5 5900X. So something which we're seeing here is definitely high core counts. Because they could have said a faster processor but with lesser cores. But the 5900X, that is, what, 12 cores? That's a lot. And the 10900K, I'm not too sure how many cores that is. I never owned one, but I'm guessing it's at least 8. Possibly some efficiency cores. I don't think it is actually on the 10 series, but yeah, my knowledge of Intel cores that far back is rubbish. And it's been a while. But memory, 32 gigs of RAM. I think now that's starting to make a lot more sense. DirectX 12. Now, when we look at the graphics cards, we've actually moved up a few notches. So we've gone now to the GeForce RTX 3080, which again is no slouch. And we've got the Radeon RX 6800 XT. Again, not a slouch by any means. Very good cards, very powerful cards. I would argue the 3080 was probably the better of the two, but that has given you some idea of the recommended system requirements to get a good experience, or a reasonable experience. So that's the minimum for being recommended, if that makes sense. So if you are planning on playing this game, you're going to want a CPU ideally newer or better than these, possibly more RAM, and probably a better graphics card. So just to give you an idea, if you want to play it optimally, not like everything turned on, but just like mid-range. So yeah, that is pretty much it for there. So that gives you an idea. Hopefully that gives you an idea. It's not definitive, it's speculative. So let's have a look now on PC Part Picker and see what sort of price realistically. Now, obviously, this is going to be skewed because of RAM prices, so you can either choose to ignore the RAM prices, or say your RAM's going to cost you, I don't know, 120 quid, which is what 32 gigs of RAM kind of should be. It may end up being, but at the moment it isn't, so whatever. I'm thinking that GTA 6, when it does finally arrive, is probably going to be not particularly well optimized, especially for PC, because obviously it's a PS5 and Xbox game, which will be then ported to PC. And generally when games get ported across, when they first come out, the coding isn't great, and there's going to be bits and pieces which aren't done particularly well. It's not going to be optimized for the PC engine or the PC architecture as such. You could argue as well that the PS5 and the Xbox essentially are running PC hardware in terms of processors, but although they're kind of not, because they are running a different instruction set as such, or at least modified code specifically for that hardware. So although it's based on PC hardware, it isn't PC hardware. Yes, Gav?
Was the 10900K PCIe Gen 3?
I'm not sure. I think the 10900K might have been, yeah, it might have been Gen 3 actually. Again, I'm not, when it came, I didn't really get into Intel until the the 12th generation. 10th and 11th, I kind of dabbled, I maybe had the old system, but it wasn't anything that I spent a great deal of time with. 12th, 13th and 14th gen, and the current Core Ultras, I have more experience with. Anyway, let's have a look at your comments quickly. Firestorm says, I reckon they delayed it to optimize for lower end hardware because the price of new hardware right now. Possibility. Alexa says, my system is a 5900X and 6900 XT with 64 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and I'm playing GTA 5 Online Enhanced PC at 160 FPS. So you should be pretty good. You should be there. I can't imagine you having any major problems running GTA 6. If anything, I would imagine you're probably going to get closer to a maybe 70 to 120 FPS, possibly. I don't know. I honestly don't know. John David Sullivan says, it will be like the last GTA, though, where it doesn't come to PC at launch. Yeah. Which I think is going to be a problem. Now, I'm not sure. It could work out that because it is an Xbox game, is it likely that it will be on Xbox Live? So you could play it on your PC via Xbox Live.
Which you now have to pay for.
Which you have to pay for, obviously. But I think it would be one of those titles where Microsoft would be, it would be in their best interests to do that. So although you're not natively playing it on there, you're kind of running it emulated, so to speak. Maybe that'll be how it happens. I don't know. I'm purely speculating at the moment. But let's have a look and see what we can put together and what is sort of price is going to cost us. And also the kind of PC that I'm thinking of, which would be very much in the sweet spot for being able to play at 1440p, higher refresh rates, and possibly with a little bit of ray tracing going on as well. So let's have a look at that. So we're on PC Part Picker. You've all seen this before. Feel free to join along. So choose a CPU. Now, because this game is going to be CPU heavy, and also the fact that AMD are arguably the best gaming processors, bang for buck, and also the X3D processors at this time do seem to be very well optimized for gaming, and also take away some of the strain on RAM because the onboard cache. I'm going to say that the 7800 X3D is going to be the way to go. Now at the moment, we're saying here £300. Now these quite often come up on AliExpress for about 230, 220, sometimes under £200 if you're lucky. So I'm going to add that, and I will adjust the price because I would not suggest that anybody actually pays that price. And I'm going to put it down as being £230. Oh. If you want to find one for that price, you can look in this video's description, and there are some links there to AliExpress where you can buy that yourself. Okay, choose a CPU cooler. Now, if you're going to be spending a decent chunk of cash on a PC, it would make sense to have a reasonably good cooler. So I'm going to go with the Aqua Elite from Thermalright because it's generally a good price. And at the moment, where are we looking? 50. These seem to have gone up in price actually quite a bit, which I wasn't really expecting. Everything's getting more expensive. I know, I can hear you all saying it. Aqua Elite 360. Let's see what else we've got. So at the moment we've got the cheapest being the V4 at like 60 quid. That seems a little bit much. Let's see what we've got in terms of 360mm AIOs. And we'll sort by price. So Thermalright Frozen Prism ARGB, 45 quid. Shame they haven't got that in black. Right, we'll ignore it, but we'll pretend that's black. Yeah, that'll be fine. Where's your mouse gone? So we'll throw that in. So next, motherboard. Now, for motherboard wise, you might as well try and future-proof a little bit if you can. And for me, one of the nicer boards and the most feature-ready boards is going to be the MSI Tomahawk, the B850s. I think they're a great investment, and they're not incredibly expensive for what they are, but they've got all the cool features, memory size compatibility, the slots. Let's have a look at the actual board. Oh Christ. Tell you what, how about getting a bigger picture, guys? Anyway, you get the idea. So Amazon doing it for 170 at the moment, 180. I think that's a great board, a good starting point. You could go cheaper if you wanted to. There are cheaper boards available, but I'm going to add that one in anyway. So we're racking up some, oh God, I'm dreading doing this one.
When's the double minute pot?
Let's just go with Crucial Pro overclocking. At the moment, it generally tends to be the cheapest here in the UK. If you're in another country, yours may be significantly different, but realistically 320 quid, around about 300 quid for 32 gigs of RAM is pretty much the best you're going to get. Okay, so add additional memory, no, because we didn't win the Euro Lotto, so we're not going to do that. Now storage wise, again, this is going to be a little bit of a painful one. So we want 2 terabytes, I think, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a big game, and 1 terabyte does fill up rather quickly. So we'll sort by price and see what they've got. I think I've listed actually in my description the Biwin, the X570, which has been at some good pricing. Let's go M.2. Pretty much everything's out of stock because, well, yep, you know what it's like. We want 2 terabytes, ideally.
Fast memory is advised.
Well, fast memory isn't necessarily a thing if you're using an X3D processor, because the instructions which need to be read quickly are done on the CPU, and it does remove the bottleneck. So if you didn't have an X3D, then faster memory is always a good option. This memory that we've got isn't particularly slow. It's CL36 6000, I think, if I remember rightly. Yeah. CL36. So CL36 6000 is pretty decent. Like, yeah, you can get CL30, but that is relatively rare. Most people will be fine with CL36. If you think about it, in terms of if it was DDR4, so if you half it, it would be CL18, which again was fine for DDR4. CL16 was optimal if you could get it, but yeah, 6000, I think that is going to be absolutely fine. But I understand where you're coming from. Hello there, Jason. How you doing? So we got 2 terabyte. Oh shit, that's a 1 terabyte. What the actual beep? Right. Choose storage. Right. Let's just do this simpler. Let's just go for MV3, 2 terabyte. Jesus Christ! I cannot get over how expensive M.2 storage has become. What else have we got? What other options is there?
DDR5 though.
That is the cheapest DDR5 that we've got. I'm pretty sure, actually, let's go back. Where's my mouse gone? There he is. I need a bigger mouse. So if we look at, actually, if we do additional memory, if we sort by price, and we want 32 GB, most of it's going to be out of stock. I think we can get it to remove out of stock.
RAM crisis aside, does AM5 still have issues with 4 sticks versus 2 sticks?
Yes, it does. Very much so.
Maybe you should read that.
Yes, P Cheng 6A, I think I pronounced that wrong. RAM crisis aside, does AM5 still have issues with 4 sticks versus 2 sticks? I seem to recall you can't get max speed with 4 sticks. That is still correct, yes. With some tweaking it is possible, but it's still quite difficult to get it to run stably at the rated expo speeds. You sometimes have to drop the expo speeds a little bit. But it depends on the RAM, depends on the processor, because obviously the RAM controller is built into the CPU. So if you've got a strong CPU with a strong memory controller, then potentially it's going to work. Also, you're relying on the tracks on the motherboard for the RAM itself. Yeah, there's lots of variables to it. If you've got a kind of 8 or more layer PCB on your motherboard, you might be able to obtain those speeds, but it's certainly not a guarantee. Right, how many pages have we got to go before we actually find some in stock? Well, actually, yeah, Patriot Viper Venom 32. Even the Kingston Fury Beast, what speed is that? That is 2 times 16. So that looks to be a good choice. So 300 quid roughly. So maybe we should try that instead. Let's try, I like the Kingston Fury, so I'm going to add that. And we'll remove the Crucial Pro. Saved a little bit of money there. Well spotted. Right, let's go back to storage. And let's just go with... Let's go with the 990 Pro. That hurts, but let's go with it anyway.
How many sources is PC Part Picker using?
Yeah, if you look around, you want to hunt around, you could possibly find better deals. PC Part Picker does generally tend to pick up the main kind of online places in the UK. So Amazon, Overclockers, AWDIT, Scan, etc., and some of the online only ones as well. So it does pick up a lot. Now, when it comes to the graphics card, now this is going to be obviously very dependent on how much you want to spend and how good a game you want. So if we were to do this realistically, the 9070 XT, arguably I would say is very much the best bang for the buck at the moment. So if we went with, what's the cheapest at the moment? Let's see if we can sort by price. So the XFX Swift, 578, then it jumps up to kind of 600, 615. So it really depends which one you want. I've got that one there, the Asus Prime OC, and it basically handles anything I throw at it. And it's also remarkably good for video editing. Also, similar sort of price, you've got the Sapphire Pulse and the Sapphire Pure. So if you want to have a white theme, go with the Pure. If you want to have a dark theme, go with the Pulse. Arguably, let's go with the cheapest. I think that is, yeah, that's a triple fan. I think they're all triple fans. So in order of saving a little bit of money, we will go for the Swift. Personally, I would probably go with maybe the Reaper or one of the other slightly more expensive ones, but we're going to save 20 odd quid, so we'll go with that. If we looked on the Nvidia side of things, for around about £600, we are going to be in a very, very different territory. So we'll go, let's try 560 and we'll say maximum price of 930. So that is going to dramatically reduce our options. And if we go, can we just choose Nvidia? Why can we not choose, just choose Nvidia for God's sakes? Why can we not just choose Nvidia as a brand? I'm sure that used to be a thing. Let's try Nvidia. Is that going to do it? No. Right. We'll get rid of Nvidia off the list. And I'll sort by price again. So what have we got? So GeForce 980. No, that's not going to cut it for us. So the Zotac Gaming Edge Twin Edge OC 5070 12 gig. That's got some potential, I feel. I think a 5070 for that sort of money is the lowest you want to be looking at. 5060, those are kind of silly prices generally. But I think that is going to be it. 4070 Ti's are very hard to get hold of. The supplies are drying up of Nvidia cards quite heavily. So let's narrow this down for 5070. And yeah, we're in a similar sort of position where they're all a very kind of similar price. Let's see, well, we've got an MSI card. I've got an MSI graphics card. Ideally, I probably want a triple fan. Oh, actually, solid. Let's just go for the cheapest one. Because I don't think there's going to be... You've got a little bit of difference there. Some of them got slightly higher boost clocks. Actually, let's go with the palette, because that's got 200 megahertz, almost higher clock. A little bit less on the boost, but actually, let's go with that. That one there. Let's go with the Inno 3D. Because that's a pound dearer, but it's got slightly better boost clocks. So between the two, obviously, price-wise, yeah, there's virtually nothing in it, like 10 quid in it. So I would probably go with the 9070 for the 16 gigs of RAM, but some people are just Nvidia all the way. The game itself, I feel, will be very much Nvidia optimized, especially because of the high and heavy use of ray tracing. I believe that Nvidia still has the upper hand when it comes to ray tracing and DLSS and all that kind of stuff. Although FSR is catching up pretty well, and the 9070 actually does really good in ray tracing comparatively with previous generations of AMD cards. So I don't know, choose whichever you feel is more relevant to you. I'm going to remove the Nvidia because we know it's going to be the same price for the 5070. So now we've got to go for a case. Again, you can put in whatever case you want. So let's try I would probably go with a frame to give you a little bit of room. Let's go with the ARGB with the fans in. Is there from the fans? The RSRGB, £89. So well, let's say that, argument's sake. So we've budgeted nearly 100 quid for the case, which for this sort of PC is justifiable, I think. Now the power supply is going to be an interesting one. There's going to be lots of decisions here. So our estimated wattage is 600 watts under full load. So ideally you want to double that, but obviously when you're getting up to 600 watts, doubling it is 1200 watts. 1200 watts on a power supply for this, I would argue, is probably a little bit of overkill. So I think 1000 watts is going to be pretty much a kind of happy place. 850 is going to be fine. I think it's going to be 80 gold, 80 plus gold or platinum. I think those would make a lot of sense. So let's sort by price and let's see what we get. Oh, actually, we want to change our wattage. So 850, I think, is going to be the bare minimum. Thank you very much, Mr. Mark Gaines, for your very kind PayPal donation. Let's go back to the main camera, so at least you can see the lights. They did go on. Cav did get up and do it. Is there a message there? I can't see a message. It's not my eyes, it's just off the screen.
It's not off the screen.
A little something for the channel, says Mark, and he's donated £20 to the cause. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, Mark.
It was your eye.
It was my eyes. I apologise. Let's go back to
Large, as much
Stream
as
Desktop.
it is.
So, we've got a lot of options here. I've got to say there's quite a few in here which I sort of like the look of. I'm thinking maybe the Montek Century. Not a bad choice. The Toughpower GTs, those are actually really nice power supplies, although that's 850 watts at the moment, whereas ideally we want to try and go for 1,000 if we can, around about that same price. So let's see what other options we've got. Let's see, power supply wise, 12,000 watts. Ooh, now that isn't a bad shout. 1200 watts, that is exactly double what we're going to be using. Thermaltake Toughpower GFA3 Premium. The GFA3s are very nice power supplies, and they are using all Japanese 105C caps, which is very nice, and it basically the same sort of price as the others. So let's see what other options we've got. I think that's probably going to be at 1200 watts. That sounds insane. Ooh, that would have been a nice choice. Well, the Toughpower PF3, the Platinum, those are being superseded with the PTs rather than the PFs. So the PF range is going shortly. We're starting to go up in price a little bit now, so I don't really want to spend quite as much as that. So I think we'll go back with our 1200 watt absolute smasher. Let's add that one in. That's a great power supply for the night. 1200 watts. Jesus. That is going to give you a little bit of future proofing, and for not much more than the rest of the market. That's the cheapest 1200 watt I've seen, I think. Let's go back to the screen very quickly. Jason has kindly sent 10 Mike's Unboxing reviews on how to gift memberships. One to TPU6CQ, to, I'm really struggling with these names, Omkar Kel, Stefan Smith, Shearer6932, Al Pearson, Joshua Bright, Gilmer, Doye, Mortaunt 1210, Default Default 26. There we go. That's it. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So you have all now got a month's worth of free Mike's Unboxing membership. So you'll automatically get your Discord level up. So if you are a member of Discord and you use the same email account as you've signed up to YouTube, or it's linked, then automatically your YouTube your Discord ranking will level up. So you get access to some of those rooms, and you get a different color next to your name, so that's cool. A little supporter badge and all that kind of stuff. Also, you'll get early access to the videos as well. So Mike's Unboxing videos, everybody gets to see all the videos. None of them are members only, none of them are patrons only. Everybody gets to see every video, if you want to watch that. So you will just get the video access just a little bit earlier. And actually, we've got some really cool videos coming up very soon. I had a little bit of a weird hiatus over Christmas and New Year where I was feeling like shit. I am starting to feel a bit better. The voice is going a bit now, but I am starting to feel better in myself, and I'm able to start making content again. And hopefully it's at a slightly better level, because I was really struggling towards the last quarter of the year and the beginning of the year. Very, very, very worrying times. I was very unwell, and yeah, I am starting to feel better, hopefully. As long as it lasts. I get a few good days, then I get a couple of bad days, and then I get a couple of good days, and then a couple of bad days. But hopefully the good days are going to start being more so and longer lasting, so I can start planning ahead a little bit better. But anyway, there you go. Let's go back to the list. So, what was I saying? Yeah, Toughpower, great power supply, love it. Very happy with that for the money. That's from Amazon as well. I would strongly suggest, if you are looking for a power supply of that sort of premium level, maybe head over to Amazon and have a look for that, because that seems like a crazy misprice. That doesn't sound right at all. I'm actually tempted to go and buy one because that's nuts. So thank you very much to Stuart. Thank you very much, Mr. C. He has sent us an extremely generous donation of £37.50. And he says, thanks, Mike and Kath. All the best. You, sir, are very welcome, and thank you for your extremely kind donation. Oh, I should show you. Kath did get up and put the lights on, just so you know.
Got to put them off again.
She didn't turn off. She wandered off. She's just
Like Joe Biden.
she's done a Joe Biden. She's gone off for some chocolate ice cream. Oh, I'd love some. Eh?
I don't like ice cream.
See, I love ice cream.
You keep buying it
Capsule.
for me because you know you will eat it.
O'Reilly's been very kind as well. You guys, thank you all so much. O'Reilly has sent 5 Mike's Unboxing reviews on how to gift memberships. So one has gone to Retro 90s, one has gone to Natalin something, one to ClickRads, one to Back for More 420, Mick Tronny. There you go. Thank you very much. You guys and girls have also got early access to videos and also automatic level ups on our Discord if you are a Discord member. Also as well, while we're talking about Discord very briefly, today I have just added some new categories to the eBay Discord bot. So now there are entries for specifically for 16 gig kits of DDR4 and DDR5, and also 32 gig kits of DDR4 and DDR5. Also NVMe drives, which we didn't previously scan because they were kind of available everywhere and pretty easy. So NVMe drives has now been added to the bot. So if you're looking for a drive, maybe check it out. Also, we have added solid state SSDs, so SATA SSDs, because again, they are getting to be in demand. And also, for those of you who are into NAS or just bulk storage, we've also added in SATA hard disk drives as well, so mechanical spinning drives. Not everybody likes buying those used, but not necessarily going to be used. It is from the eBay bot, so it will pick up both new and used and potentially refurbished items as well. So just another way of trying to help save you all some money, and also at the same time it does help support the channel because we do get a very small commission from purchases made from those links. So everyone's a winner. We get to find cheap parts, you get to buy cheap parts and save money, and we get a little kickback in return, and it helps keep the lights on. Quite literally. So if you want to check those out, please feel free to do so.
Unless I wander off if I put them back on.
Oh, Remad says, you're not the only one. I have had bursitis in my knee for a few weeks now. Oh, that sounds painful. What's bursitis? Is that like fluid?
His elbow.
Is that fluid?
His elbow swelled up.
Oh, like all, yeah, all swollen, like inflammation and fluid and stuff. Oof. Oh, I hope you get that figured out. That doesn't sound great at all. Right, back to the list. So, like I said, yeah, Thermaltake Toughpower GFA3, that sounds sensational for that money. So I'd certainly be looking at buying that if you need a 1200 watt or you want a 1200 watt power supply. That's awesome. Operating system, I'll leave that because, well, premium CD keys exists. And I think that is it. We don't really need anything else. So we are going to be, price-wise, looking at 1,770. You can't really say it anyway without it hurting, but that is a lot of money, isn't it? So 1,800 quid to play a game which probably isn't going to come out on your device straight away. To be fair though, that is, I would argue, a very, very kick-ass PC with a lot of headroom and a lot of potential, and that is going to absolutely crush pretty much any game that you can think of. The 7800X3D, I still can't believe how good that CPU is for the money. It's an incredible processor, really, really is, and so game optimized, it's just not even funny. The cooling for 45, 50 quid for a 360mm AIO, hard to beat that. The motherboard, the MSI Mag B850 Tomahawk, the Tomahawk board, the B650 was great, the X670 was great, and the B850 follows on in that tradition of being a fantastic, reliable board with all of the things you want and very few of the things you don't. I think it's a really good balanced board. The RAM, obviously, yeah, what can you say about the RAM? Storage-wise, the Samsung 990 Pros, I cannot believe how expensive those have become. Those have absolutely rocketed up in price. I've actually got a couple of the 1TB drives here. I think they're 1TB. I should actually check them. Yeah, a couple of 1TB drives, which cost me like 50 quid. And yeah, it's just insane. But there you go. So 1,800 quid for argument's sake. Actually, no. Let's be optimistic. With a few little savings and a bit of tweaking, you could probably get that down to 1,700 quid. So yeah, I think that's a decent PC. So let's go back over to the chat. Or I won't, but yeah, I will. You won't. Well, no. I'm just going to press the button, see what happens. Let's get back to the camera. So what do you think? Is that the sort of PC that you would buy? Give or take, obviously, things like maybe the case, the cooler, you might want to change. But I can't see there's anything on that PC spec which would be, that anyone would really turn their nose up at. Again, the choice between the 5070 12 gig or the 9070 XT. Arguably, the 9070 XT has its pros and cons. Obviously, got a little bit more extra VRAM there. Arguably, it's going to use a little bit more power as well, generate a little bit more heat, but I wouldn't say it's going to be dramatically, massively different. I think it's going to come down to what other games you play and how much you rely on things like RTX. Kath's going, she's holding her eyes open. What was I going to say? Oh yeah.
You said something about VRAM.
It said something about VRAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said something about VRAM, that's it. Shut her off. VRAM. Gone.
I thought you said Z.
Hey, Phil Stodd.
Thought I could get some Zs in.
So, let's see what people are saying. David Underhill actually says something which I was about to say. So, thank you for beating me to the punch there. So, 1,800 quid. It's probably going to be cheaper to buy a PS5 or an Xbox.
And play it in November.
And play it on the day in November.
Semrab said that earlier.
I think, yeah, Semrab said it as well earlier, Kath was just saying, so thank you very much. Aletta says also add 1,000 plus for a custom loop. Of course. Yeah, I think that is not a bad price for this machine in today's market. So this leads to the real crux of the matter. If you want to play GTA 6, or for that matter, any of the current games which are deemed as being sort of AAA titles, or just the games that you like playing now, everyone's got their own thing. Arali's into Dune, etc. Doom, as in Sand Dune. Dune. Whatever. Dune. I'm going Dune there. That went into like South African or something, I think. June.
Like,
June.
I suppose like the month.
Yeah, but if I say June, it's going to translate on the auto-translate for the YouTube stuff as June.
Oh, so you're speaking now for auto-translate?
Yeah, because YouTube's asshole. Translate that, you fuckers. Anyway, so moving on. June, not the month, the game. If that's your jam, or I don't know, whatever it is. If you're playing, I don't know, Fortnite, Ghosts of whatever it is, I don't know, Cyberpunk, whatever it is, your game that you want to play, and you want to play it at basically the best you can, or the most optimal for the money. I would argue that this system pretty much ticks that box. 7800 X3D at 230 quid, you can't touch it really. Do you need it? No. It's probably arguably the best X3D processor of the lineup price-wise that is available. The motherboard, again, we've said about that. The RAM, debatable. Again, with the RAM, the benefit of going with an X3D chip is you can then, if you find some slower RAM, so maybe some like CL40 or something, it's not going to be the end of the world. Like some 5600 CL40 is going to be fine, and you won't notice the difference against faster RAM if you're using an X3D processor because of the way that it caches the information, taking that load off of the RAM. So that potentially that is going to be a way of saving some money, get some cheaper second-hand slower RAM, or just be able to buy RAM which is available because it's lower tier and people don't necessarily want it. Storage wise, you could possibly save a little bit of money, but arguably Samsung, probably one of the premium brand drives on the market. I think, again, there's other brands. You've got your Crucials, you've got, I have to look on the shelf. What we've got Acer Predators, Western Digital, obviously, Crucial to some extent, not so much now, Western Digital stuff. There's other choices out there. You could go with one of the slightly more off-brand Chinese brands if you want to save some money. Whatever you want to do. Arguably Samsung is like the go-to brand for most drives these days. Arguably the brand leader, so we want this to be really good, really powerful, and longevity. Graphics card, 9070 XT. It's a great card. It's a very good price for 16 gigs of RAM. It's a shame the 5070 Supers didn't arrive as they were intended to, which would have most likely have been a 16 or 18 gig variants. I'm thinking they would have been 18 gigs because of the way the RAM works, because at the moment it's 2x6 making 12 gigs, so they have just added on the extra, basically times it, so it would have been 18 gig card, which yeah, would have been nice, but obviously that hasn't turned out how it was going to be. The case, again, the Corsair frame is a great case. Lots of room in it, decent cooling. It's Corsair, so if anything goes wrong with it, it's very easy to get it remedied or replaced, etc. The power supply, the Thermaltake Toughpower GFA3s, 1200 watts for £109. I still can't believe that. I'm actually going to click on it because that just makes no sense. Is it? Oh, there's only 2 left in stock. I've just clicked on the link, which I would share in Discord, but I don't think I've got Discord on this computer. Oh, I have. Right. I will quickly share that link, so if anybody wants to make a purchase, you can do, because that is just, that's nuts. Oh, Discord. It's 23 degrees.
Oh, it smells really hot.
So I'm going to go to bargains, no chat. And I'm going to paste that in there. Enter.
Let's open the window and a bit hot.
Yeah, just realised I don't think the... Oh, I didn't start the bot again, did I, after I did it last time? I rebooted my NAS and I haven't restarted the bot. Oh well, never mind. So, there you go. The link's in the Discord if you want it. Only 2 left. Crispy says, hello Mike, have you got an early copy of GTA 6 then? No. That would be nice. I don't think our channel has quite the reach to warrant that. Would be nice though. See if I missed anything. Okay. Oh, actually, that's a lie, because that Thermaltake is... Yeah, no, they've done that wrong. That was a 750 it's linked to. Ignore that link, it's wrong. Stupid machine. So that is the thing with PC Part Picker. Sometimes you have actually got to validate your stuff. So we go back in power supply. I'll go with the GT850. Yeah, I just said that. So I'm just going to put a tough power in. That'll be fine. So again, that's fine. Let's brought it down to a little bit more, 10 quid off. But yeah, I think that's a decent PC. And I would say that because oh, we're on the right camera. So this week and over the last couple of weeks, I've been accumulating some parts because I actually want to build this. So this wasn't just an exercise in futility for those of us that want to build it. I actually plan on doing it. And almost the spec that you see on the screen, although there will be some differences. The graphics card is going to be different because I don't have 2 of those. But I do have a 4080, which I think would be a very, very appropriate alternative to the 9070. So I do have that. So we will be doing this build, in either a stream or I'll do it in a video. I'm not too sure which I'll do, but I am going to do it. And part of the reason we've got it is, or we're going to do it, is because there are some bits and pieces here that I've got to review still. So one of which is this graphics card, which Dave Aitken kindly loaned me, I'm thinking probably before Christmas. I think it was actually before Christmas. Was it before Christmas when Dave come in and we give him his Christmas card and that?
Well, I should hope so.
I think it was. No, but he hasn't been this year, has he, since then? I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah, so Dave brought this round.
Did he? Or was it before then?
A couple of days before Christmas, I think.
I think it was.
I'm not too sure. Anyway, so...
Yeah, because we weren't feeling very well, were we?
Yeah, we hadn't been very well. And, yeah, Dave picked this up as a real good deal. And he said, would you like to review it before I do something else with it? So, in the meantime, whilst I've been holding on to this for him and not charging him for storage, I must add, this has actually gone up considerably in value. So, I'm not sure if you've seen it, but Hardware Unboxed today actually released a video saying how much GPUs have increased in price since last year. And this has gone up in value about 20%, which is quite scary, really. So this is the MSI GeForce RTX 5060 Ti, the Ti edition. And this is the first time I've actually taken it out of the box since Dave's brought it around. I'll be completely honest with you, because I've just, yeah, other things. But how cool does that look? That reminds me of the 20 series Founders Edition cards. It's got a lot of that about it. I think it's mostly because of those kind of rounded edges on the fan shroud. But that's actually a really nice looking card. And it's quite nice the fact that it's silver and black, so it should fit in quite nicely, even possibly with a white build, because of the amount of silver there. The black, if you had it vertically mounted as well, you wouldn't see a lot of the black. But yeah, I think that'll fit in with a lot of different builds. And you've got all the outputs there. You've still got the full-size PCIe slot, or PCI Express slot. So yeah, nice card. And lightweight, and also, best of all...
Is it me or no audio?
I don't know. Is there no audio? 1, 2, 1... let's have a look. 1, 2, 1, 2... Yeah, it looks like audio's coming through. It has got a 8-pin normal PCIe power connector, not the 12-volt high power or the 12-volt 2x6. So nice that it only needs that. So this is going to be a nice performer. Not going to use a lot of power. Not going to generate a lot of heat. Sadly, this is, I believe, the 8 gig version, which is its one weakness. Other than that, it's a fantastic card, but only 8 gigs of RAM. And also, in terms of price-wise, these at the moment I think are going for about $360, somewhere in that sort of region. And I get the impression that they've paid under $3. Almost like, well, I'm not going to say how much in case he puts it on the Discord and wants to sell it, but yeah, I think potentially there's a little bit of room for manoeuvre for both Dave and whoever buys it to actually both get a good deal and both be kind of quids in. So yeah, that is awesome. Obviously it's going to support DLSS4, all the kind of new features. Yeah, it's just a shame that it's an 8 gig card. If it was a 16 gig card, this would be fantastic. It really would be. Even if it was a 12 gig, maybe even a 10 gig. 12 gig would be great. But then if this was 12 gig, no one would buy the 5070 because there'd be no point. So happy days. So there you go. That is going to be coming up on a review soon-ish. Part of this whole process is going to be because we've got this board. So this is the MAG B850 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. Excuse me. These are cracking boards. I love these boards. I really do. MSI makes some amazing motherboards. Now, don't get me wrong. If you like your Asus, if you like your Gigabyte, if you like your ASRock, if you like your ASRock, good luck with that. But yeah, I think MSI, they've had their ups and downs in terms of obviously PR disasters, etc. But in terms of actual hardware and the quality and the kind of overall reliability, I don't think there's another brand really that does it as well as MSI, and especially for the money. I would argue between Asus and MSI, they are the two kind of leaders of the pack. Asus probably being, well, Asus are 100% the market leader in terms of volume of sales by a massive margin. Asus sell more motherboards and peripherals than MSI, Gigabyte and ASRock put together. So it's not even close in terms of market share, but MSI, I feel personally, do some very, very nice stuff. And I think the Tomahawk board, I'm not entirely keen on the kind of fluorescent green markings on it. That I feel could have been changed. Maybe silver, maybe white. That would be better, but it's somewhat minimal. There's not a lot of it, so it isn't a problem. It's a nice, stealthy black board, so if you are building a PC and you don't want it to be like ultra blingy, this fits in really nicely. And of course, if you do want it to be ultra blingy, there's tons of RGB ports on here, so you can kit it out with as much LED lighting as you want. And of course, you can use MSI Center, Mystic Light, etc. to control all your lighting. You've got the nice M.2 shield on there, quick release, etc. So that's great. PCI Express Gen 5 top slot, PCI Express Gen 5 for your M.2s, etc. etc. No screws to attach, which I like. Yeah. Diagnostic D-LEDs, USB, fast USB ports, nice easy access to everything. Just a nice laid out board. And in terms of I/O, pretty nice I/O. Plenty of USB 2 ports for your keyboard, mouse, webcam, microphone. Then you've got your faster ports and also a couple of USB Type-Cs, nice fast ones as well for data transfer or for plugging in your USB drives, that sort of stuff if you want to. But yeah, overall, it's just a really, really nice board. I really do like the MSI boards. And for anyone who's watched the channel for any length of time, you'll know that I'm not just saying that. It's a genuine thing. Even since day one, pretty much, I was always heavily focused, on MSI boards in general. Wherever possible, I put an MSI board in my computer, in computers that I sell, because I know the... Sorry. That's fine. I know the BIOS layout pretty well. I know what to expect from the boards. I know how far you can push them if you do want to push them. And in general terms of reliability, I've had very, very few fail. I think the only ones... I'm trying to think of the ones I have that have actually failed. And I think it was ones that were like ones that I just bought from Amazon as like warehouse returns, which I probably wouldn't class that as a failure because someone's probably trashed the board before I've got it anyway. So yeah, I think they're fine. Yes, Gaff?
Oh, Bob.
What time?
Second one from
All right. Oh, Bob. Still waiting on that 64 meg BIOS walkthrough. Now, funny enough, that again is part of what I am aiming to do with this. I did think to myself, because I have got, if I can find it, should be able to find it. Here we go. Oh crap! Everything's falling apart. Right, let me put this board underneath because this board is supporting a stack of other things underneath this shoddy desk of mine. So where are we? I thought that this board, the Mag Z890 Edge TI Wi-Fi, I thought this had the 64 meg BIOS on it as well. And I actually set this up the other day and I didn't look closely enough, so I don't think this is the 64 meg. No, it's not, I don't think. So yeah, I had plans to do the video and use this board to get that BIOS video out, but that wasn't to be. So again, another reason why I'm going to be putting this PC together, because old Bob wants to see what the BIOS is like on the new setup. So we will have to see what that's like. Rick says I have an old B750, B75 MSI board that still works. Very cool. Viali says Asus are easily superior MSI cheap crap. I wouldn't say they are easily superior. They are nicer boards, but they are more expensive as well in general. I've got the Prime X870p Wi-Fi. I need to do something with this board actually. And I got to check. Did I leave anything in there? No, I didn't. This was my video editing PC motherboard, but I then switched to the Intel platform, and yeah, I need to use that for something. But with RAM prices as they are at the moment, I'm quite happy to kind of hoard the boards a little bit. I've still got the one that we had on the other week as well, the Strix B650, which I'm probably going to send to Andy Archer, because I think he did say that he would be kind enough to have a look at the bent pins for me. So yeah, maybe we will do that. I have got some packages I've got to send out on Monday, so I might possibly do that. But I'll reach out to Andy beforehand, just to say, like, that was a very kind offer, but are you still open for it?
Like a magician pulling stuff out of a hat, he says.
Yeah. I am like a magician. Or are you going to be like a magician straightening the pins of doom?
Yeah, do it.
Cool. I will do that then. I'll get that sent off to you. I like that board. I really like that board. It's a really good looking board. Jameson says, I'm a sub since I saw Mike's review of the B650 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. I'm still really happy with that motherboard. Another MSI fan. Welcome on board. We do love our MSI stuff. MSI. I just wish MSI would send us stuff for review. Now, somebody who does send us stuff for review, which some of you may appreciate this, some of you may not, Thermaltake. Our good friend Adam over at Thermaltake has been very kind and working very hard since Christmas, and he sent us over some things to review. This is going back, so you won't be seeing it again. Well, you will, but not here. So this is the Mindcube 360 AIO. This was a lot of fun.
Your arms just look so huge when you did those thumbs ups.
Oh yeah, this is the camera lens. Yeah, this was a lot of fun to play around with and mess around with. When I first saw this, I think it was at CES 2025. They had it on display, and I thought, yeah, that is like, there's no real use for it in the real world, but it's a cool idea. And I kind of like the whole kind of doing something a little bit different. So when they actually decided they were going to make it a real thing, and I think it actually released November of last year, so towards the end, I'll be honest with you, it's hella expensive. Like, have a guess how expensive it is. Don't cheat, you cheating bastards. Don't look it up, but how much do you think this costs? And actually, this will be a good thing. If you don't cheat, or you don't know, if you guess, this will give you a good idea of whether or not this is going to be a hit or a miss for people. Now, clearly, there is a specific market in mind for this. Now, bear in mind, the cube itself consists of four 4-inch screens. Well, it's 3.95 inches, but it's 4-inch. That's what I told her. So 4 inches or penis-sized screens. I'm not sure if that's a diagonal or a cross. But there's 4 screens. So yeah, each one of them is 720p. So 720 by 7, well, it's 720 by 720 resolution. So that's not quite 720p, but for argument's sake, I'm calling it that because it's 720 pixels. So each screen is 720p, and there's 4 screens. So you've got one on the top, one on the front, one on that side, and one on the other side. And you can put something different on each screen, or you can have the same thing on each screen, or you can have a video which goes across all of them. You can choose basically what you want to do. Now, the software is still very much in its early iterations. I've done 2 videos on this. One is the review, which also includes how to set it up, how to install it, how to configure the software, and my final thoughts. And I've also done a separate standalone video. So if somebody actually buys one of these and wants to know how to set it up in the software and change things, I've done a separate standalone video for that as well. So do watch out for those on the channel. The first video, the review of this alone, comes in at 52 minutes in length. So it's quite in depth. So that is the full unboxing, the installation, the software setup, and then my roundup at the end. So it's a long, long video. let's see what some of you are guessing. So there's been a few guesses. Oh, there's quite a lot of you guessing already. So thank you very much for your interactions. It is much appreciated. Let's see. So John says 400. Actually, also, can you put on there as well whether it's Dave? Stop.
David.
Put there whether it's US dollars, Canadian dollars, pounds, euros, etc. Because otherwise it's hard for me to kind of work out whether or not you're close or not because of where they may be. So where have we got? So John says 400. I'm not sure if that's pounds. 350 says O'Reilly. £400 says Steve. Semrab says 199. Lead Farmer has retracted his message. He's pleaded the fifth on that one. Task 99 says 199. Firestorm says 250. Old Bob says £5, 8 shillings and 4p. A penny. I'm not sure what that is in modern, but maybe. Charles says 250 USD. Telesto says £88. I think you've gone a bit low there, but anyway. Lottery win price says David Thompson. Excellent. 320 says Steve. Lead Farmer says 189. No idea. I'd never used AIO, says Greg. 300 notes says Rasher. Bullshooter 325. Lead Farmer 229. Does it show us extra monitors? Currently, no. But it isn't out of the realm of possibility because the previous Thermaltake software did allow you to set a stream zone. So you could capture an area of your screen and have that displayed. I don't think it had an option to be a dedicated display though. Possibly. You're all guessing there pretty good. Andy says same as 2 times 16 gigs of DDR4. Very good guess. Old Bob says under 35 quid. David Under says 489 Aussie dollars. Okay, you've had some really good guesses, and it is, well, the MSRP is, I believe, £269 here in the UK. So yeah, £270, which there is a slight irony that when I was doing the review, the processor that I was trying to cool with it cost less. So for someone like Aletta, who spends a lot of money, like closer to £1,000, on water cooling, you're probably not like shocked by that. But for a lot of people, this is quite an expensive pill to swallow. Now there are a lot of 360mm and 420mm AIOs on the market, which are around the sort of £200, £250 mark. They are the premium ones. And obviously this is basically a premium AIO. So even the fans are reverse blade SWA fans. So they are the SWA fan EX12s, magnetic. You get the extra blades in there so you can swap them around. Also single connection, so they're all magnetically linked. It's not a cheap setup. It's not like they've chucked on a couple of 12 quid fans and said be done with it. It's got high quality, decent fans. The fans on their own are probably retailing for about 65, 70 quid on their own. It's a new style radiator, so 27mm thick with 20mm spacing for the actual tubes or ribs or whatever you want to call it inside. And obviously the pump head itself. An LCD screen isn't cheap. And when you've got 4 of them, you're paying 4 times the price. So you've got all of that complexity in there. I must say, it does look very, very cool. And I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did, but it did look very cool. Whether or not it's something which I would use on a daily basis, I honestly don't know. If you're someone who builds showpiece PCs, maybe you do like themed builds, this is going to be perfect. So say for instance you're doing like, I don't know, a BMW theme, then you could have a picture of a BMW kind of driving around and the logo spinning or whatever. Also, you can use AI tools to create all images, so you don't even have to be creative yourself. You can get AI to do it for you. That is an option. Maybe you just want to have like your CPU temps on one, your GPU on another, your RAM usage on one, whatever. You can do all that, and you can also move all of the bits around as well. So it's very, very, what's the word? Flexible, I suppose is the word you would use. There's all kinds of things you can do it. So that is, yeah, that was a big project. That took us a good few days to get that done. But hopefully you enjoy the video. Even if you don't want to buy one, watch the video because it is actually interesting. So yeah, if you've got like an hour to spend, just sit down, grab yourself some food, grab yourself a drink, and yeah, watch the video.
Grab a pillow.
Grab a pillow. Put your eye mask on. Bastards. So yeah, the video is coming out for that as well. That is going back though, I'm not keeping that. I've also got some other stuff as well, which we'll be taking a look at. So I've done a roundup of power supplies as well, because it's something which I've wanted to do for a while. So as part of that, got some of the new power supplies from Thermaltake. Got the Toughpower GT Snow 1000 watt. These are very cool. Do them in both black and white versions, and these are designed to be kind of more price compatible. Well, basically like entry level enthusiast. So yeah, it's 1000 watts, it's PCI Express Gen 5, 12x2, fully modular, low noise fans, all that kind of usual stuff. Smart zero fan control as well. So you've got all that stuff on there. So if the power supply is underneath 40% load, the fan won't spin at all. So basically silent running when you're just dossing around on the desktop as you do. Under load, still very quiet, which is something which some of the early ones didn't quite manage to pull off as well, but these new fans they've been adding are very good, and they've also opened up the grills, etc., to let more air in, so better ratings. This one is actually 80 plus gold, but I believe Cybernetics rated it as platinum. I don't know how that works, but apparently that's a thing. So yeah, definitely one to check out. So this is the kind of entry level enthusiast grade. Moving up from that, you have then got, if I can find it. So then you've got, moving up from the GT, the 5-year warranty with that, main Japanese caps. Moving up from that, you've then got the GF-A3 range, which has been around a little while now, but they've been slightly modified and uprated. So main capacitors, Japanese again, the rest of them are still good, but not all Japanese, which I know some people do like to see. Again, PCI Express Gen 5.1, 12 volt high power, blah, 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 blah. Smart 0 dB fan, 10-year warranty on this one, as opposed to the 5 years on this one. This one is made by Channelwell Technologies, so a CWT platform. I think this is as well, but just a lower end platform to come in to make the price lower. So kind of, I wanted people to see that it isn't always about wattage, it's about the platform as well. So even though that's 1000 watts, it isn't necessarily better than this one, which is 850, because the better platform, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Moving up from that, you've then got platinum rated. So this is part of the new PT range from Thermaltake, so Toughpower PT. So fully modular again. Now this is using 100% Japanese caps throughout the platform. Also 10-year warranty, DC to DC and LLC platform. What else you got? Oh, it's also got the color-coded connections. So for your 12 volt high power, they're color-coded. So if you haven't pushed them in far enough, you can see a bit of color, just a little bit of extra protection. Again, all fully modular, embossed cables, nice, thin, flexible, etc. So again, it's only 850 watt, but it's a higher tier than the 1000 watt and the 850 because it's a better platform, and also it achieves the platinum rating. So being platinum, it's 93% efficiency, I think it is, but it also has to have at least 90% across the board. So most other power supplies, like under platinum, have got pretty horrible low range efficiency, whereas this has 90% efficiency across the entire range. whereas these will drop down to in the 80s, sometimes even in the 70s. So if you're after efficiency, this is the kind of the efficiency king, if that is your thing, and also very quiet as well. It hasn't got a 0 dB fan, but it spins all the time, but it also is extremely quiet. It spins at like 400 RPM, so it doesn't really need to be off because it's just keeping the power supply, the circuitry cool. Also, this uses a new type of platform as well, which I think is also done by CWT, which is basically a cableless platform internally. So rather than using cables inside to kind of connect all the different boards together, etc., it's all modular boards which all kind of slot together. So that increases electrical efficiency as well, reduces heat resistance, etc., etc. So again, that is very, very cool. If money isn't an object, which if you've won the lottery, as we discussed earlier, then this isn't going to be a problem at all. This one's so heavy I can barely pick it up. So if you want the cream of the crop, then you've got the TF. So this is the Toughpower 1300 watt TF3. This is an absolute beast of a power supply. It's freaking huge and freaking heavy. 10-year warranty, 100% Japanese caps, overclocking mode for the power supply. So if you're doing like high-end overclocking, liquid nitrogen, that kind of stuff, or you just have like 2 massive graphics cards in your system, this...
Mike P's off.
Oh, cheers Mike P. This can actually run 2 high-powered graphics cards at the same time. It is dual 12-volt 2x6 connections in it. So this thing is just freaking awesome. And again, this is titanium rated efficiency. So this is even better efficiency. So you are going to be saving money as you use it, in theory, because you're not wasting energy in thermal mass. So yeah, this thing is absolutely insane. It's got so many ports on it, it's just not even funny. You've even got 5 PCI Express outputs for graphics cards as well. It's bananas. David Sullivan dropped us 20 Aussie dollars. Thank you very much. It says, by the way, the X870E Max Tomahawk is the only Tomahawk motherboard with 64 meg BIOS. I'm sure that one, the Tomahawk Max, has got it. Ah. Yeah. There you go. I think you can see it there. Does it say it there? Can you see that on the screen? I can. Yeah, top corner. 64 meg BIOS. So I'm not sure where you got that from, but thank you. Yeah, I just read that. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway, so insane power supplies if you want them. Oh, is it? Well, MSI said that on their site.
That's what David Underhill says.
Good exercise today. Okay, obviously Thermaltake did send a big box of stuff. We just got to go back. This, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show you this yet, but it's only between us, isn't it? Just don't tell anyone. Don't go pestering Thermaltake and saying, oh, where can I get this AIO? So this is the new TH range. So the TH is the kind of, I wouldn't say the value option, but it's kind of like the more entry level for Thermaltake. They don't really do cheap AIOs as such. Sometimes they do them on offer, but yeah, I wouldn't consider them necessarily like a budget cooler, but they are very good. So this is the new TH360 V3 Ultra. Now this is the most expensive one of the TH range. So there's going to be an Ultra, there is going to be a Plus, I think, and there's an ARGB sync. So the Plus version has got an LCD screen, but less information on it. The Ultra is got the fully programmable screen, which is going to be very similar to what we saw in the Minecube. So that was a 270 quid cooler. This estimated retail price, well, £120, 119.99. So if you like the idea of that screen, this might be an option for you. So again, same sort of screen, 3.95 inch IPS panel. Also, the fans, they have now got a modular 360mm fan. So 3 120s basically all joined together, which saves a lot of faffing around because it's just a single piece. And also, it's got RGB on the sides as well. So most fans, unlike these SWA fans, you've got RGB on the sides and also in the middle. This has got it on the blades and also through the sides as well. So yeah, this is looking to be very, very nice. And I think 120 quid seems like a very reasonable price for an AIO with a proper dedicated programmable screen, which I'm going to get a sneak peek of because literally this has only recently arrived, so I have not had the opportunity to take it out and have a look. And it's got brackets and all sorts. Actually, yeah, it's all fully assembled as well. But I don't want to see that. I want to see the screen. And I want to see how it attaches, whether or not it's the same as the Minecube. Because I'm guessing effectively most of it is the same as the Minecube. Oh, yes. Ah, no, it is different. So this is the screen. And it's got RGB around the outside edges as well, which is kind of a nice touch. But it's also fully rotatable. That is the thing which pisses me off sometimes with these things, that you install it and you've got the tubes in the right place, but then the head is in the wrong place. Whereas this would appear that you've got 360 degrees of movement there. So take it off, spin it around 90, fine. Take it off, spin it around 90, take it off, spin it around 90. So that is going to work very well. I like that. And in terms of RGB connectivity, that looks like... Ooh. The software isn't actually out for this yet, so I cannot demonstrate it, but it has got a... looks like a micro USB connector on there. I was hoping I could just plug it into my system, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. But anyway, looking forward to that, because I do like these coolers, and I do like the screens, but something which I didn't totally appreciate about that one is the fact that, yes, you could cycle through the various different types of display, but you had very little control over what actually displayed on it. So yeah, that was a little bit disappointing, and it was something which I was hoping they would resolve, because in all honesty, Thermalright have been doing it, and doing it quite well, for quite a while with things like their Frozen Warframe, which we've seen on the channel before. Now the software isn't perfect, and it does fill me with a little bit of dread every time I install it, because it's like typical deep Chinese stuff and you just don't know what is in it. I'm not saying there's anything bad in it, but you just don't know, do you? And when you try and install it and it says this program has been blocked, blah blah blah, it does make you kind of wonder sometimes. Now I know it's probably because they haven't paid for the software to be signed or whatever, which is all part of the cost saving, but it's also one of those things which does make you kind of just stop a little bit and wonder. And I'm imagining if there's people that are not particularly PC savvy, that happens to them and they're like, ooh, what's going on here? That doesn't look good. And on to technical support. Obviously Thermalright, basically technical support is non-existent, so yeah, it's like anything, it's cheap for a reason. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what this is like, and I probably will end up putting this in the PC behind me, because I do like that display, and I do like the flexibility that allows you to move it around and fully customize it how you want it to be, rather than how they think you want it to be. So yeah, I quite like the look of that one. Looking forward to taking a look at that. What else have we got? Also, I'm not sure if I've showed you this already, but I've not done the review on it yet. I've been using this for about 6 months now. This is the Mercusys BE3600 dual band Wi-Fi 7 router, or however you want to say it. This is basically the cheaper version of the TP-Link BE360s, which we've got here. And I wanted to add this to the network as part of the Easy Mesh system, and this was about 15 quid cheaper than the TP-Link ones, but Mercusys is actually TP-Link's budget brand. So effectively it's like the same product, just in a different box, different packaging, different market. So yeah, this has been in Angel's bedroom and has been serving as the kind of the middle point of our mesh. Got the TP-Link BE3600, one in the front room, got one in the back of the house, in George's room, and this one is kind of in the center. So when it comes to like the beam forming technology or the kind of the handoff, so if you walk into the house, the first network you get is going to be obviously the one at the front of the house. As you get to the middle house, it switches over to that one. Go out the back garden, it switches over to the back one. So all part of that same mesh. So you just connect once and it seamlessly takes you through them all. And yeah, been pretty happy with this. So for this is about 50 quid. So I thought it was pretty good value for money. So I will be doing a review on that coming up very shortly indeed, or at least as soon as I can get around to doing it. I'm sure there's other things I've got as well. There is some RAM, which I bought off of Andy Archer very kindly. There's some RAM that he wasn't using, so he's sent it over to us. And it's actually some Corsair Vengeance DDR5 5600 CL40, I believe. I did have a look, but I'm sure that's what it was. And going back to what we said earlier about the 7800X3D, I am going to try to do some verification testing of what I have already been told and appears to be true anyway, that if you're using an X3D processor, RAM timings are less of a problem, or less, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's not a thing. You don't need it. So you don't need ultra fast RAM if you're using an X3D processor, because the 3D cache on the CPU basically handles all of those little tiny movements anyway, and yeah, just kind of balances it all out. So that is going to be pretty cool. Looking forward to doing that as well. Right, where did I get to? Darren says, not keen on flashy fans. How can you not like flashy fans? They're great. Semrab says, question, Mike, did you review the TP-Links? Yes, the TP-Links, there's an unboxing and review. There's also a easy mesh setup guide, and I think that's it actually. I think I just did 2 videos on that. But the easy mesh setup guide, I probably will do another update of that using the Mercusys, just to show you that basically if you get any device available on the market which supports the easy mesh standard, which there's about 15 companies I think which all support it. So you don't necessarily have to have Mercusys or TP-Link, you can mix and match. But as long as they support the Easy Mesh standard, you can mesh them together, which is cool. You don't have the same management over the devices that you would in a traditional mesh, but you can still basically use it as a mesh device. Alessa says, all my fans are black with no RGB. Where's the fun in that? You crazy vampire woman. Sinister Chef, I hope you have both been well, Mike and Kath. Yeah, long story short, we are. Although Kath's not been feeling very well today, she's been a little bit off colour. Bless her heart.
Sore throat.
She's got a sore throat, and it's not because of why you think. She hasn't been smoking too much. She says, that'll be tomorrow, if you didn't hear that. Bless her heart. Steve Flameslinger, I love having RGB on my PC. I'll be honest with you, I do as well. I quite like it. I don't know what it is. I think it just reminds me of like carnivals and stuff as being young. I don't know what it is. Like,
do you ever go to any carnivals though?
Rarely, which is why I think I like it, because I could never really go. Well, you know, like, yeah, when the circus comes to town and they rock up on Rodway Common. Yeah, fair.
Carnivore.
Well, a carnivore. Yeah, I love carnivores. They're great as well.
So not a carnival.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like going through the streets of things.
No, not one of those bloody street things. No, that's a load of nonsense, isn't it?
That's a carnival.
Is it?
Yeah. You mean a fair?
A fair. Yeah.
Like a fairground.
Yeah, like a fair or fairground or arcade, that sort of thing. I think that's where it comes from. Like, you know what it's like when you're a kid. If you went away on a family holiday, you'd end up, the family would take off. they'd go to the pub or whatever and give you a few coins and say, go and play on the arcades for a bit and shut up. Drink your shandy and fuck off. They didn't say that. Well, they probably did, but anyway, yeah. So in my day, you'd go to the arcade and you'd put in a 10p into Battlezone or Hypersports or ER Kung Fu, possibly. Maybe even Space Invaders. I'm just, yeah. I was back there then. I had very, very vivid visions then of that. I used to always go to a place called Sandy Bay in Devon, and that was like the family place that used to always like go in. So yeah, whatever, we went along. So it was like about, I think about 15 of us, maybe more. A couple of different parts of the family, and we'd all go down there for the week. And they would go to a pub at the end of the kind of the road, and at the back was like an arcade little room and like some swings and what have you. And yeah, we'd end up going out with a like a can of Top Deck, either lager and lime or beer shandy, and some 10p's. And there were, I very, very distinctly remember there being a Atari Battlezone arcade with 2 joysticks and you had to drive a tank. It was all like vector graphics. Oh, good times. In reality, if I did it again now, it'd be like, oh my god, what is this nonsense? Get me out of here. But back then as a kid, just felt like, yeah, playing games like late at night, it's cool. Anyway, moving on. So, Rasher says a nice balance of RGB is the trick. Strimmer cables are a load of bollocks, to be honest. I'm not keen on the strimmer cables. Yeah, I think, yeah, I agree with Rasher. There's a point where you can have like RGB overkill. I don't think that system has got RGB overkill. There is a lot of RGB in it, but it's a big system, and it's black as well, so it kind of soaks up the light a little bit. Some people may say it's over the top. I think it's, I wouldn't say it's modest, but it is. It's supposed to be a showpiece. It's supposed to show people what can be done in that case. So, kind of for that reason, it's pretty good. Phil says, if you need proof that the fans are working, you could always use the old playing card in the spokes method. Yes. Samurai says, very tasteful in my opinion. Thank you very much. Happy days. Right. I think that is pretty much it. I think we've exhausted the conversation, and I could probably go on waffling for hours and hours, but my throat is killing. Calf's is killing as well. So, yeah, that's
resolve some conflict.
Yeah, that's something resolved. Possibly, or the fact that I did wake up with like a GERD thing last night, like a acid reflux,
I remember that in the night.
and I thought I was going to choke to death.
I thought I was going to fly up to the ceiling in the bed.
Yeah, I hate that. You know when you get acid reflux where a load of it come back in your throat and it's like super hot and it burns, and because you're like kind of asleep, you almost breathe it in, so you don't want to ingest that stuff. It's not great. Anyway, Rash has got a sore throat as well, and he wasn't even here with us. He was here in spirit, no doubt.
Pervert.
Pervert. Hopefully you've had a great time. If you have, smash the like button. You probably have anyway, because you're lovely people. And thank you all for your kindness and your donations. It is massively, massively appreciated, especially in the economic climate we're in, which basically sucks. But hopefully we'll get through it and we'll see the other side. As with anything, there's peaks and troughs. And hopefully we are in somewhat of a trough, and it's going to peak, or will peak and it'll trough, or it'll work itself out one way or the other. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Have a fantastic weekend, and don't forget as well, videos now, the new slightly revised schedule is full-length videos, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, live stream on a Saturday, and you'll get shorts breaking it up on Tuesday and Thursday. So there should be something to watch or interact with every day of the week apart from Sunday, because we've got to rest, don't you? Anyway, thanks very much. See you on the Discord. Have a great weekend. For those that are enjoying Valentine's, have a nice evening, and Don't get a sore throat and we'll see you later. Cheers, bye.